Hello and welcome to Walking the Wyrd. Today I'm in the New Forest National Park in Hampshire. It's absolutely beautiful here and a place steeped in magic and folklore. So I'm going to be stopping at 3 different points of interest today. But the first, we need to find a naked man. Okay, so here I am at Wilverley Enclosure, and just over the other side there is Wilverley Plain, and I'm looking for, well, as I said, a naked man, but it's not what you think. It's actually a tree, and it's got a bit of a dark history linked with this tree, so let's see if we can find it. I absolutely love the New Forest. It's just such a magical place to walk, and you really get the sense of freedom due to obviously the vastness of it and the mixture of open plains, heathland, forest. It's just magical. That might be it. I'm going to have a quick closer look. I do believe I may have found the naked man. Now, there is supposed to be a plaque on it. Here we are, the site of the naked man. So here we are. As you can see, there's a few kind of trinkets hanging from the tree. There's like an old wreath there and a robin, and you've got sort of like a wicker heart there, and up the tree there is a butterfly and a heart and a bell. That's why it's windy today, see, so I could hear the bell call me into the tree. All makes sense now. So, what is the naked man tree? Well, let me tell you.
Some local people say the tree gets its name from the simple fact that after being struck by lightning and losing its branches and leaves, the tree looked much like a naked man. However, some say there's a more sinister reason for its unusual name.
Local legend tells us that this tree was a gallow tree, or a grief tree as it's also sometimes known, and criminals were hung from the tree, particularly highwaymen, and obviously their clothes would break apart and fall apart over time, and people would come past here and just see naked men hanging from the tree, hence the name, the naked man.
The site of the naked man is reported to have been used by local witches to perform rituals. It's even been suggested that the famous Cone of Power may have been raised here by witches in 1940 to guard British shores from German invasion.
So there we are, we found the remnants of the naked man and the new tree next to it. It's a really, really interesting bit of folklore, and there's clearly something, as I said, that's gone on here because of this kind of a memorial, if you like, to this site. Really interesting place, and yeah, not sure I'd want to be here at night. Would you? find it absolutely fascinating that even today people still come to these sites with offerings and trinkets. Just shows how embedded these local stories are to people. So that's the naked man. We've seen the naked man, and now I'm going on to my second point of interest, and I'm going to be getting in the car for this one actually, so driving the Wyrd today. These places are kind of spaced out across the forest, so yeah, let's go. So here I am at the Church of St Nicholas in Brockenhurst, the oldest church in the New Forest.
The ancient Church of St Nicholas in Brockenhurst stands upon a mound which local historians believe was used for pre-Christian worship. The church is 12th century with many late Anglo-Saxon and early Norman features, but a recording in the Domesday Book of 1086 suggests the church may have been here even earlier. The church boasts many interesting features, which have been added throughout time, including Anglo-Saxon herringbone masonry, a Norman arch and font, and Tudor stained glass.
So now I'm trying to find the gravestone of somebody that we're going to talk about now, someone who is very well known in Brockenhurst.
Harry Brusher Mills was born Henry Mills on the 19th of March 1840 and grew up in a New Forest village known as Emery Down. Harry spent much of his life as a labourer, but when he reached his 40s, he seemed to seek a more reclusive life and moved into a charcoal burner's hut near Brockenhurst. This is where Harry began to form a new career that would make him famous as a local snake catcher. Armed with just a forked stick and a sack, Harry successfully caught thousands of snakes, selling some to London Zoo and using others to make medicinal ointments. Harry used to brush the local cricket pitches clean before matches, and this earned him the nickname Brusher. Harry's unusual occupation and hermit lifestyle made him a source of intrigue to people, and he would happily appear at local fairs to speak with those curious of his primitive ways. In 1905, Harry's home was destroyed by Crown authorities. Heartbroken and homeless, Harry moved into an outbuilding at his favourite pub, the Railway Inn, and sadly died from heart failure soon after. Harry's beloved pub is now named the Snake Catcher in his memory.
Okay, I've spotted the grave. Apparently this gravestone was funded by local people because obviously he had no money, sadly. So this is the final resting place of Harry Mills, otherwise known as Brusher Mills, the Snake Catcher. And it says, "This stone marks the grave of Harry Mills, better known as Brusher Mills, who for a long number of years followed the occupation of snake catcher in the New Forest. His pursuit and the primitive way in which he lived caused him to be an object of interest to many. He died suddenly, July 1st, 1905, aged 65 years.
On the east side of the cemetery are the graves of more than 100 New Zealand, Indian and Australian soldiers who died in the field hospitals here at Brockenhurst during the First World War. In 1924, the Commonwealth War Graves Commission ordered the original wooden crosses to be replaced with engraved headstones. The large memorial cross was added in 1927.
It's so sad seeing the ages of these young soldiers who lost their lives here. Every time I visit a new church, I think, this is my new favourite church. And the same has happened here again. It's just, what a beautiful church, and humble. You know, it's simple and humble. It's just really lovely. And the graveyard's really interesting as well. Lots of interesting headstones. There we are. That's the Great Yew. Look at it. I think I read that its girth, when it was last recorded, was around 20 feet. If I'm wrong, or if I read it wrong, I'll correct it here. Wow, look. It's enormous. Stunning, beautiful. Right, on to my third and final location. So I'm not too far now from Bewley Heath, and there's an airfield, an old airfield I should say, disused obviously, near here, and it's here that it said that pixies inhabit. Yes, pixies. I'm walking looking for pixies. Well, anyway, so what was actually found here was when they were putting the airfield in place in 1941, I think it was, they had to excavate quite quickly a bowl barrow that was discovered. A sure sign that we're on the right track will be this concrete, the remains of part of the airfield. When they excavated this bowl barrow, in their rush of course, because the need of the country was there, they damaged it, unfortunately. It sort of collapsed within itself once they were digging out the finds. They didn't find much either, apart from an amber necklace, Bronze Age, which is rather special. I don't know if I'm actually going to find this, to be honest, because it's pretty much gone, but we'll see. The gorse smells amazing though, look at this. Really sweet and buttery. So, where are you, pixies? And that's, to be honest, I don't know what I'm looking for, but the ground does go up here. That is ugh. Oh, I wonder. Do you know, I think I might have found it without I'm certainly on a raised area. This could be it. It was near the entrance apparently, and the entrance is just over there. So I think I might be standing on the barrow. In English folklore, there's a mischievous pixie kind of character called the colt pixie, and the colt pixie will lead horses, horse riders and walkers to treacherous bogs where they get stuck and sink and die, kind of never-ending story style. And the reason this is called Cold Pixies Cave is it's believed that it was originally colt pixie, but the Hampshire accent dropped the T from colt and it got called colt. So the colt pixie, and colt, if you don't know, I'm sure you do, not teaching you to suck eggs, but colt is a young male horse which is intact, I believe. And the pixie takes on the form, it shapeshifts into a colt, a horse, a ragged, wild looking horse, and then it lures, like I said, horses, horse riders and walkers and other people in the forest to an untimely death. And there's a saying locally which is to look as ragged as a colt pixie, which basically means you look ragged and wild and untamed, kind of like I do today in this wind.
It's believed that barrows like this one were associated with pixie lore because some people did not understand their original purpose as burial mounds and instead saw them as otherworldly and full of treasures.
So there we are, story of how a Bronze Age barrow became known as a pixie cave. There be magic here. It's very special, very nice place. Not sure if I'm being watched though by unseen eyes. Well, I'm pleased to report I managed to pull myself away from Cold Pixie's cave without being lured to a sticky end. If you're not subscribed to Walking the Weird, please do consider doing so, and I look forward to seeing you all again on the next Weird Walk. Oh,